Welcome to Vision Plus, a program featuring a positive outlook, dealing with everyday situations of marriage, children, and business. Believing Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Teacher, author, speaker, delighting audiences from New York to Sacramento with a heart and message for the people today. Bonnie would like to remind you of the 800 number on the screen. Please feel free to call at any time throughout the broadcast and share your concerns. Leave your prayer request and someone will pray with you. And now, teacher, author, and speaker, Bonnie.
I'm delighted that you're here, and you will be too when you learn what we're going to be talking about today. I did want to say in the Mission Possible book that we're going to do this with people who have testimonies that would like to be in an anthology also. This is an anthology, and some of them I'm really proud of, some I'm not sure about. Bruce Jenner, who's part of the National Speakers Association, part of the Kardashians now. I don't know about this guy, but he was in it. And of course I am, and Tim Sanders, he was part of the Yahoo group, and we have quite a few of the National Speakers Association. But what I want to do one that is all just Christian testimonies, not that these aren't wonderful people and have great things that they've accomplished, but we want to do primarily Christian. So if you're interested or you know someone, please get back in touch with us, that we want to have our own Mission Possible with all Christian testimonies. And you're going to get to hear one right now. Most of you know about the hardcover book that's out. And so if any of you are country and western lovers that would like to hear it from a Christian perspective, this is one that my friend for a quarter of a century, Bernice Turner, did, and Elvis used to come and watch her. This has a lot, before he got real famous, has a lot of pictures in it of country and western singers, and she was dirt scrabble poor like me in Arkansas. She's from Arkansas also, and that's the outhouse. My friends had 3 bedrooms and a bath. We had 3 rooms and a path out to the outhouse. But anyway, if you'd like to have this, any donation, and we can send you a copy of that. But how many of you know someone, in addition to our wonderful heritage of Helen Keller, that was, I call it blind. I know now there's another way, legally blind. Good friend of mine is legally blind. But how many of these people can be helped with a faith-based program that they can be involved in? Wouldn't you like to know about this? Well, I know we did that. Part of my doctoral program, went to Washington, worked with, had access to 24 senators, nonpartisan, and they were working on a program that had been funded during the years of the Clinton administration, and they got $200 million. I didn't get any of that dollars, but at least I got to do a lot of research with them, and they found out that the latchkey kids were actually helped. Latchkey kids, the 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock kids that have no parent home, they're helped with faith-based programs. Well, what about, that would include a lot of people, but what about the ones that are, correct me, I want you to meet Jeri. Jeri, introduce yourself. A friend of Kathy Mays, Dr. Kathy Mays, that introduced me to Oxford Graduate School, where I got my doctorate.
Okay, I'm Jeri Clayton, Huntsville, Alabama. I'm an old Huntsville resident.
Nurse.
And a
Some
nurse,
of you been protecting
hairstylist.
help.
I've done just a little bit of everything.
Owned a business in the Five Points area. That burned to the ground. Bummer.
Had some different tragedies to been through, but God has taken me through a whole lot of different paths. And
That's
each one
right.
I have learned.
She and I both have had a daughter that, yours was a daughter also that
Yes.
passed. Mine got killed after she returned home from the former Soviet Union when she was crossing the street going to her car, and killed on University. Now, where was yours killed?
My daughter had heart problems,
She did?
and right at her 17th, close to her 18th birthday, right when she graduated from Faith Covenant Academy, she passed as well. But my son attended Faith Covenant Academy and did very well in the Navy. He had 10 years of service and turned around. He just got focused, became a young man overnight in the Navy, and has done real well, works here with the government here now. So,
Are you proud of him?
I'm very proud.
Well, I had me to help a little bit with Faith Covenant Academy. Got to teach some speaking and writing and loved it.
Right.
That was a joy of my heart. We now do writing classes on Monday night. And so let's find out about what you're involved in.
Yes, I am. It became a little bit easier to develop what we refer to as Jeri Clayton LLC. And underneath Jeri Clayton, we're a diversified community service provider, and we have different divisions in our company.
You just bring it right up to
I'm going to bring this up here. Actually, well, this is one of them.
Let's show it.
This is the one that we're very proud of right now. That is called Phonection. And all the things that you see here that are in my businesses here, all have been faith-based, just with two of us working together, Dr. Mays and myself. And understand that the hummingbird is our signature because it means from ground zero up until the possible. God developed the hummingbird to do the impossible things. That was to hover and fly backwards. Do the impossible. So when somebody said, "Oh, it can't be done," yes, it can if you have that hummingbird theory that I do. But Phonection is our communication division, and it's specifically designed that we call the customer or the client or the contact. The program can be set up by family members for seniors, their family, who independently live by themselves, but they still maybe just need a third person to check on them personally. We are not automated. We call that individual personally either once or twice a day according to that program. It's also excellent for, now that we have the economy the way we do, that some parents have to be both working. They may have to leave the home a little earlier before the children do for school. So with our 2-call program, which we usually recommend at this time, we have a 1-call program also. But for children, it's very nice if you have a family. In the mornings, we can make sure the child is up and ready to go to school. We know the time they left the home. Then when they return home with the parents not being there, we can also call them, make sure that they're safe and sound, alert them to any type of weather conditions be
That
set.
just works right in.
And it works right in.
Yeah,
It's kind of like we used to call latchkey
what
at
the
one
doctorate
time.
that I worked on was learning about the faith-based children for the latchkey kids, and you're doing that.
And this is also for
Similar.
young mothers who are just home from having made their child and they're just by themselves. And it's really good for post-op patients who just need an extra phone call, just an extra person to call them personally, just to chat with them 1 to 3 minutes each time, and kind of get to know them personally. Gives them that little confidence and peace of mind. So
In
our
fact, I know of a
concept
person that I want you to get in the program real soon because she just had a surgery and she needs help. Okay,
and this is how Phonection began. Okay, we had
With
both
you and
Dr.
Dr.
Mays and I
Kathy?
had one idea. We sat there one day and we said, it would be so nice if we had someone outside the family to call our family members if we can't call. We might be on the road, you might be in a meeting and just can't call that person. So we had one idea between us and developed it. We sat in Dr. Mays' den, and I said, wouldn't it be nice if we just had somebody that we could do that? She said, I don't see why it wouldn't work. And then we had, of course, we're red-headed ladies right here.
Now
and
there's
we
three
think
of us.
alike. Now there are 3, but when you have more than 2, that really does make a big difference. And we kind of compile our ideas, and Dr. Mays is really good at editing some of my ideas. I might get 3 pages of legal pad. She gets really down to 1 and concisely does that, so it makes a little bit more, when you're presenting this. But we had 2 telephones. That's going to start out with Dr. Mays and myself. We want this business to expand as well as we can, but we can handle a certain amount of cost.
Why don't you say what the business is in addition?
The business actually is faith-based, and it is a third eye. It gives you the peace of mind and also keeps family connected. That's what we're all about. And it gives that person that we're calling the peace of mind, feel safe. If they need something, we can definitely call their family members or someone that is on the call list for whatever their wants and needs are. But in addition, if we have a contract that we sign, and they can specifically design that call. If they would like a devotional.
Now, do they actually pay for that service?
Yes, and we have a one call per day would be $30 per month. 2 calls per day would be $45, and that would be a 3-month contract. Just to let you know how it works out, and that's how we want to do that. And then we also have a handling fee we have to process. But we will meet with the family member to make sure that we want to have that specific designed telephone system for that loved one. So they may like to share just a couple of moments how they're feeling, a safety check. It can also include devotional, a prayer, a blessing. We can assess if they need anything that day, and actually, if there is any cause for an alarm, if they need something immediately or there's an emergency that comes up, we can dispatch the 911 if we have to. But that would be in case if a child is living home by themselves, and they say maybe a stranger is trying to access the house, we can automatically call the 911, but also the parent to let them know what's going on. So it's a matter of safety and peace of mind that we're trying to get that together. And being faith-based, we really just started from ground zero. And God kind of leads you that way. If you really get down to the basics and let Him take over, you work from the bottom and go up. And that's how we have founded these businesses this way.
And I like it, Jeri, because you have the ground zero use. I always say that the 911 happened, not 9/11, but 911. It's a wake-up call.
Wake-up call.
And this is another wake-up call.
Another wake-up call.
Yes.
And really, I felt that this was just, thank you.
So we've got, we're ready for the hummingbird now.
Okay.
Now, not only do we have red hair together, but she and I each had open heart surgery. Only she just was released in the today.
Just today.
Okay.
My surgery was 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And really, at that particular time, I was in the hospital. God did call me to service. So it was not just the wake-up call that I had started over my health, but I did not realize how badly I needed the surgery. And so it was kind of one of these things God said, I've been preparing you for this great adventure. And
now, you being a nurse, I'm surprised you wouldn't realize you
didn't recognize it. No, Huntsville being as small as it was, as you remember, we had a lot of specialists, maybe Birmingham. And at one time, they had an undiagnosed case of rheumatic fever, which damaged a lot of my heart and lungs. And until they got the surgery, they did not realize that they repaired my heart, but also my lungs. So God, in His infinite design for me, actually was able to breathe. The air sacs had not even received air when I was a small child. So now my respiratory is better. So actually I received just more than one healing. I got a faith healing as well as, He called me service. And, looking for a job or whatever, just to kind of fit in between, I realized that when God calls you to work, you don't need an application, or you don't need a resume or cover letter because you've already qualified. And He says, I've been training you all this time. He just called me just a little bit later in life than I expected. But life starts over sometimes for people my age. And as far as I'm concerned, I've got a brand new leaf of life here. Turn it over, and once you put it in God's hands, He just actually takes over and helps you.
I like that. God designed.
God designed. And He designed everything this way and said, you're fine now. The doctor said, you do whatever you want to do. And I went, oh, good. I can... I feel so much better, and didn't realize how bad I felt until I had surgery. But it was a life healing as well as a soul healing type that I got when I was there.
I think my surgery might have been 8 years ago. Yours was 8 weeks ago, so you're right. You do feel better.
Oh yes, like the energy is just completely wonderful. But it's all in God's hands how He got me, I would just say, healed to the point now that I can do the things that I've been wanting to do for all this time.
Well, what about the seeing impaired? We needed to get to that.
Yes, we had a Touch the Sky program, and that is for our educational with AIDB and the National Weather Service in 2009.
Well, say what AIDB is.
AIDB is the Association for the Deaf and Blind here on St. Clair. And we worked with the Vision and Prayer.
And that's out of Talladega.
That's out of Talladega. And so Huntsville has a department here. Mr. Isaac Beavers is the one that I worked with there. And for an art project, I wanted to do community service. So I came up with Touch the Sky, and along with the National Weather Service, we realized how many kinds of weather that we have here just in Huntsville. From tornadoes to thunderstorms. We have the black ice, not necessarily the snow. So we took 12 types of weather patterns and reduced them to where they're tactily raised, where the vision impaired blind can understand the dimension of the clouds. They can feel fog. We used ostrich feathers when it passed their hand over. That gave them the feeling of what fog was. And a lot of individuals, they can see in their mind what things are, but when they're described as we see them as visioned, then they're able to get that concept, the dimension of what actually clouds are like. And I want to continue that because it was such a success. We've had a little bit more demand about what else do you have for these canvases. So these canvases are designed and raised so that they can be touched and experienced, and then they're given with Braille to describe them. And then when they go home, they can realize that, oh gee, we might be able to comprise a class. So the next project is to actually go in and conduct a class for the same people we worked with before. And this time, it'll be some different areas, maybe some foliage and something with the botanicals.
Yeah, and that goes right with another program we had was with another Oxford Graduate School graduate, Dr. Walters, and she had designed a workbook for Alzheimer's patients. The same concept of feeling, everything tactical in that book so that they could feel what it is and help them to get their memory back. But I can see how this works for the sight impaired and a lot of
it's just really beginning. I'd say it's infancy because we just began the weather boards. But Talladega is interested in our taking the project to them, let them look at it. But I look at it as an open door because not only can you do weather, you can do other types of canvassing. And it just bridges that the gap that we take our vision for granted sometimes. We feel like they can understand it. But when they see their vision through their training, it's a little bit different. So when they create their artwork, it may look a little different, but yet they can understand what that looks like and really appreciate the art as well as study the landscapes and proportions. And there's so many things that we can begin with, not just the sky and the weather. So it's an ongoing project. But
what's your next thing you're going to design, do you think? Really,
right now we're looking at some foliage, but then once we go to probably Talladega in the next week or two, or next month or two, we're going to find out what they need. They might need some, I'm thinking scientific, maybe in biology, where they need to have something of that nature. But it really just begins, God will send us the right place and let us know that. So we're just going to pray on it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you need to do this, and if I can design it and create them, that's what we'll do. So it will help open up a lot of avenues for the individual studying at Talladega.
And mention again why Talladega.
Talladega, they have actually is a college for the blind, vision impaired, and the adult system.
People because they think
Right.
Talladega, that's where the races are, but that races are.
Yeah, and this
the blind are on a race too.
AIDD works with Talladega, right? And they also have
well,
up in Nashville, I believe. But Talladega
But
is
right
really
here in
good, right here in Huntsville.
Madison area.
So if we go
Madison
there,
County.
then that would be the college in Talladega where they would go. And they get their training, and they also have different products that they produce as well. So this would be just
What
one
kind
thing.
of products?
Some of it's industrial, I believe. I know they have some that they do for different contracts, I think.
Now you're getting a patent on this.
Well, actually, I have a medication. I have a medical division with Jeri Clayton. It's in process developing a patent for a design, and hopefully it's going to be pretty quick, but it might have to be a little wait on there. But that's also, so we do a lot of different things within Jeri Clayton LLC. It's not just one thing. So it's communication, education. It's also safety. We're looking at a safety sale program.
Well, explain the safety sale.
Safety sale will help individuals during inclement weather and give information of how to effectually get to a place of safety. And that is still in process at this point. But it will be
Is that
pretty
for the
rigorous.
vision?
No, it'll be for just everybody.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
And it can be anywhere from mobile to stationary, but it will work in that category. So we have safety, also, and then our communication, which would be, of course, phone action. And anything else that we
That's a
decided to
website
develop.
too.
That's a
Why don't you
website.
give that
Actually, our
website?
website would be www.phoneaction.com.
In case
And
they're
you
not
can-
understanding the words you're saying, it's phone.
Phone action, yes,
Yeah.
PHONECTION. And
E-C-C-I-O-N.
and I'll bring it to you in just a second.
E-C-C-I-O-N.
Phone action, that means you're connected through the phone service.
Mhm.
Right there.
You're doing okay. You're going, we'll have this on videotape soon, I'm sure.
Okay, and this is right here, you can call us, this is our numbers that you can call us for information, to set up an appointment, to look at our contract and get your loved one online with us when we make our phone calls.
You know, I see
And
this
information.
also for people, I was just thinking about my friend that just got out of the hospital from surgery. Her mother and dad had to come all the way from Abilene, Texas to be here. And they were all planning to go home, in fact, yesterday or today. And they had to stay later because her husband needed to go back to work. And she needed someone to touch base with her. I can see how this could really help. And when I had my knee surgery, I would have loved to have had you where I could, you call me once or twice a day when Tony went back to work and say, how are you doing? Anything we can get for you? And I'd say, yeah, fried chicken, a few things and all.
And,
It just felt so comforting.
It's a
I can hang in here, even if you fell out of bed, which I did, that's one little thing. If you knew somebody's going to be calling you, you wouldn't feel so alone. You'd feel like you had an advocate that was working with you
Exactly.
about whatever it is. I can see so many possibilities with this phone action.
And it'd be very good to do this. And like I said, it is. It
So
keeps
anyone,
families
I mean,
being
maybe
downtown.
they could do even a monthly program instead of having to think of this forever. But you might could have it just where my friend could have subscribed for 2-3 months, and that way they wouldn't feel like they got to pay for a year, and I'm going to be well in a year.
Exactly.
I'm going to
And,
be
you know,
well.
it's
Better be
it's
well in
affordable.
90 days.
And actually, we do not, we're not in competition with the type of, that.
Anybody else.
Well, anybody else. And, you can still have where, you can call the individuals if you have a fall or whatever, but when we call you, like I said, we have a safety check. If we cannot get in touch with that person within a 2-hour time frame, then we begin to call, make sure somebody's going to check on that person.
Right.
And it just gives you that little extra security.
Uh-huh.
But
Good.
it's
Good
very
plan.
good for even, like I said, we can make, actually it's nationwide, because if your loved one lives out of town and you live here, we can still contact that person. But we like to individualize each phone call program. And then we'll exchange, like I said, you'll know it's from us because we'll give you, the name and some type of little code there, and then verify who we're speaking to. So it's a safety as well as, you don't.
So what other safety features do you have in addition to the code?
Actually, to the code, then we're talking to our contact person about 1.5 to 3 minutes. It might get a little more lengthy, it depends. We ask how they're feeling. Are you okay today? Anything that you need that we can contact your loved ones with. Any appointment reminders if they have one coming up. And mainly just to
I like
let them
that.
get, it's nice to have that. And actually for the school children, we can call, it's good for college students, if they're studying, whatever, they just need that wake-up call. So we can do that. It's really designed for almost all ages, but particularly it's targeting mainly the seniors who live independently and want independence, but we really just want to be that third person to call, and it's a comfort call as well.
Absolutely.
And they expect the call, and sometimes it's nice. Now kids, they can always say, this is my personal, valet, and they can do what they call it what they want to, but sometimes children
So
rather
let's
have a call
recap.
from
You
us.
actually have 5 services
We have
that you do.
pretty much what we do, right. Our service, first thing would be, of course, our communication is connection. The next would be education, which is touch the sky. The third one, which is actually 3 parts, would be safety sound. The fourth one would be, the medical division, and that is research and development of products that would be beneficial to patients, whatever, locally or whatever. And so that actually be the 4th division in there. And then the Touch the Sky that we have is broadened out. And my goal eventually is to have a tactile museum here in Huntsville. And that is my goal. I've already gotten the name for it and have gotten that with our company and just finding a location. But right now we're using AIDB. They have the first set of our the weather ones, which is first project, Touch the Sky.
So how could our viewers help you?
Mainly, if you just want, with any type of connection would be the main one at this point. If you'd like to have our services for a loved one, your family, please call us at these 2 numbers right here. We also have...
You're allowed to give those numbers out.
Yes,
they'll put them on the screen.
And put them on the screen. And then, actually, if you'd like to, in Huntsville Magazine, on page 50, I believe it is, you'll see...
Of what issue?
This is the September issue. The ones
2010.
I believe it's 2010. Let's see here. Anyway, the ones they just most recently, I believe it says September. And right there about page 50, if you remember Bennett's Nursery, I thought that was kind of neat because here's the hummingbird. But that wasn't really designed that way, but I think it came out that way. But if you pull this up, you'll see Jericho LLC. And then we're announcing Phone Action. And it always goes down to what we provide. And then here you can call us for information and contact our website.
Well, go ahead and put it on, this one, read that one.
Okay, so for next year will be, the first phone call will be 256-426-0946 or 256-653-1978. And then for additional information, just to see what we're about, be www.phoneaction.com.
And they do have a caring staff, daily safety checks, daily personal telephone calls to their loved ones, and it's time for the independent living senior citizen, or doesn't have to be senior, can be young like me, suitable for children at home after school, locally owned and operated, and I'm really proud of you. I hope you franchise it worldwide.
That's what we're looking for, and like I said, God's going to give us some good guidance. Once you place everything in His hands, then it's right there for you.
Yes,
and
we
I
both
found that
had
it's easier
healing
to do
from our, haven't had healing from our red hair yet, but.
Well, this helps, just hard to keep.
We won't go there.
We won't go there.
But we're
the red
so
hair
happy
definitely
that you
helps.
joined us, Jeri. You're so precious. And so anyone would like to get in touch with Dr. Kathy Mays or Jeri, I had a mind lapse right there. Clayton, I knew that. I knew that. And you can get in touch with them through the numbers running across your screen. And we appreciate your allowing us to do this program.
Thank
and I
you.
believe it will help a lot of people.
Very
and
nice
don't
to
forget,
meet
if you have a wonderful testimony, we want to do that in our Mission Possible with Christian testimonies. I'm Bonnie Libhart along with Jeri Clayton. Bless your heart for watching.